What's going on, Ian? How are you?
What's happening? How you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
great.
Big story, I guess, in Carolina. Is this Cam Newton deal going to get done, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we'll see because always we'll see, but you're not going to bring in Cam Newton, the former franchise quarterback who's been through so many different things with his Carolina Panthers organization without at least the very, very real possibility of signing. I mean, this is not a street free agent that you just bring in on like a Tuesday and you say, maybe we'll sign him, maybe we won't. We'll see how fast he runs. Like this is Cam Newton, someone you treat with respect, someone who took your organization, as high as it has ever gone to the Super Bowl. You're not going to do this unless you're very serious. So, we'll see what comes out of the meeting, but I would say there is at least a very, very real possibility that Cam Newton is a member of the Carolina Panthers. And it's incredible how they got here, from letting him seek a trade to releasing him to trading for or signing Teddy Bridgewater and then trading him and then trading for Sam Darnold and then ending up with Cam again. It's been quite the round and round for the Panthers, but will be fascinating if he ends up as a starting quarterback again.
Ian, you're probably doing appearances all over the country today, and I would maybe guarantee we're the only ones who are going to ask you about Mike White, but here we are because this is the biggest story in New York. And from your vantage point, covering the league from the angle that you cover it from, like for us, it's easy to say like, hey, ride the hot hand, right? Ride Mike White as long as it takes. But like, there's a reality here that Zach Wilson was the number 2 overall pick and the team already has a lot invested in him. How much pressure do you think, maybe pressure is the wrong word, but like the front office and Joe Douglas and Woody Johnson, like how much are they feeling like, hey, still have to make this about Zach Wilson at some point because we got to show that we were right to use the 2nd overall pick on him?
I don't know that it's showing you're right, because at the end, and I know you've said this, like at the end, if you end up with a franchise quarterback with a different name than you originally thought, nobody cares. Like I always think about the different ways that different teams have ended up with their quarterback. Like, congratulations to Seattle for landing Russell Wilson in the 3rd round, but they did it after spending, $10 million on Matt Flynn when that was a lot of money. They did it after trading for Tavares Jackson, maybe Wally Whitehurst, Charlie Whitehurst.
Yeah. Or Wally.
Wally Whitehurst.
His brother, exactly. Wally, also.
Right, his brother, right. Charlie Whitehurst, teams have gone kind of round and round, similar to the Carolina Panthers, to try to find one. So it doesn't matter how you do it. So if Mike White is your franchise guy, you could build around for 10 years. Nobody's going to really care that much that you wasted a number 2 overall pick. It's really more quarterbacks develop at different times. Like 2 weeks ago, you could have asked me about Justin Fields, and I would have been like, kind of disappointing. They're playing him, but not great. Well, then he comes out the last couple of drives for the Bears on Monday Night Football and looks really good.
I know. Isn't that the case to play Wilson?
Right. But what I'm saying is there's so much. It's not about proving the right. It's more about like, we need to see what we have. So
yeah.
Here's my sort of main point in saying this. Nothing happens in a vacuum.
Right.
So my guess is Mike White will start this week. I would think there's a pretty decent chance that he starts a week or 2 after that. Having Zach Wilson watch is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Having him learn is not bad. But it is all about trying to get him accelerated, trying to get him through, trying to get him to learn to be the guy that you thought he would be.
Ian, where's Odell going to land?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon. I mean, this is something that Kim Jones and I reported last night. It's going to be a few days. And if it's not today, then why would you sign Friday? Why would you sign Saturday? Wait until Sunday, see if somebody has an injury, right? Like maybe one of the teams who kind of has a minimum offer for you, maybe they have a bad injury and they say, we need this guy right now. Maybe his market increased. So once you were going to do it yesterday, it makes sense to wait through Sunday. The teams that have
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the teams that have offered or at least shown interest, the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Packers, the Saints, the Seahawks, all good teams, all winning teams, mostly except for Seattle. But obviously it's nothing that he's wanted right now.
Yeah, it's now. Is it the situation or is the money? I mean, obviously the money is the factor now why he hasn't signed at this point in time. If the injuries, no cataclysmic injury happens, and we're looking
Okay.
at a playing field right now. Is it the Packers? Is it Belichick and the Pats? Is it New Orleans? Where do you think the favorite is?
Depends what he's looking for. I don't think right now he's looking to cash in and make $10 million. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he wanted to do that, he would have stayed with the Browns. Remember, he gave up money, literally gave up $3 million just so he could leave the Browns. Like take my money
Yes.
so I can leave, right? So you have some of the really good teams who made some of the lowest offers, like the Packers and the Chiefs. That might be the best thing for him. And I think what he wants is to be in an organization where he could stay for a while. He can be appreciated. He can get targets. He can be wanted. He can learn. He can fit into the office, so he could stay. That's why, like, the Patriots are an interesting one too. They made an offer, and could he be there for 3 years and be a really good, like, probably number 2 receiver at this point? Possibly.
Ian Rapoport is joining us. We're certainly stay tuned to that. And I saw your report about he might as well just wait now. Like, you're not going to get into the game anyway, most likely, or maybe, but you might as well wait until after this week for Odell. Ian, we've talked a lot about the Kansas City Chiefs and how their offense just looks completely discombobulated. The Bills offense also has looked kind of bad here, and you can see defenses are doing a little bit of a similar thing strategically, like the 2 high safeties and that kind of stuff to try to get Mahomes off of his game and also to get Josh Allen off of his game. And obviously the Bills' run game hasn't been able to make them pay for it, just like the Chiefs haven't been able to make them pay for it in the run game. Is there I think there is a real concern for the Chiefs offense. Is there a real concern about there for the Bills offense, considering the similarities?
That's a really good point, because it does look like they're saying, all right, these 2 quarterbacks with big arms who take chances, who takes deep shots down the field, we're just going to make you earn it. Like, we're going to take away the best thing that you do, which is attacking downfield deep, and we're going to force you to dink and dunk down the field. I think both can do it, but some of it has to be a mentality of, like, I am okay just 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards. I am okay doing that. I don't know that either of those guys are there now or maybe will ever be. I think Mahomes is going to still try to take shots. I would assume Allen is too, but this is going to be really interesting to see this week. Do they drill it into these quarterbacks to say, you know what? You have to take these checkdowns. You just have to. You have to force them to loosen up. I don't know. I mean, this is all, like, we are watching teams adjust live and in real time, and I don't know how they're going to do it, actually.
Ian, what was the game between the Steelers and the Bears was awfully officiated on Monday night. Any kind of fallout in the NFL league offices after watching that game and how the way it was officiated?
No, I mean, the only thing that's come out is the league defending the taunting call, saying that basically he gestured to the sideline, which he didn't really gesture. If you watch it, he just kind of stared.
Yeah.
Which, like, if I was getting upset that my kids did something and they walked to me and did that, I would be like, why are you making that gesture? But watching from, a fan perspective of the game, I'm like, that's not really a gesture. So I don't know. I mean, I think that the taunting is not going away. I think that's the main thing. The NFL has had many, many, many chances to say, it's too much, pull it back. We're interfering with the game. There should be they've never done. If there was ever a time to do it, ever, this would have been it with the whole world up in arms. And instead they doubled down and defended it. So I don't think it's going anywhere. As far as the other officiating, like, I didn't love the Jalen Johnson pass interference call. That was kind of the only one to me that was questionable.
Have they thought about not getting rid of it? I know they like it, obviously, but some of the owners are in favor of it, the competition committee. But I mean, have they thought about defining it a lot more so that I saw Ryan Clark talking about this, like, really define it so you make sure everyone knows exactly what's against the rules?
I mean, I think they have tried when they kind of went through this whole thing to try to emphasize to teams, like, what it's going to be. The problem is there's so many different things.
Right.
So, like, it should be, the kind of thing where, like, you spin a ball in someone's face or you drop it in front of them or you literally taunt to their helmet. But then, like, what what Cassius Marsh did was kind of taunting. Like, he clearly looked at the sideline and was kind of like, how about this guy? But he didn't really do anything, even though.
How about the karate kick?
Yeah.
If the karate kick isn't the taunt, nobody cared about the karate kick.
The karate kick is not. And I haven't seen
celebration.
Cassius Marsh sack the quarterback in a lot of years, to be honest. So, like, I didn't realize that was a celebration. I was kind of like, okay,
It's hilarious.
because he went through a time where he had a bunch of sacks, and then he's kind of been on a little hiatus. So I literally forgot that was the sack. But I think that's the thing, is he should be allowed that exuberance. He just can't do it like while kicking the other team. It's a fine line, but I sort of get it a little bit.
Ian, last one for me would be the Jones and Burns scenario, Carolina and New England, and Brian Burns saying happy hunting to other defensive ends with Mac Jones. What was the take with Jones and what he did and the ankle twist on Burns trying to pursue the loose ball?
I mean, I don't know. You can never really legislate what's in someone's head, right? You can never know if Mac Jones really thought he had the ball. Now, he says he did. He said he thought Burns had the ball. Burns says that's ridiculous. I don't know that anything's coming except for maybe he might get fined. That's going to be, we usually get the fines on Saturday. So, he might get fined, but I don't know enough now to know what was going on in his head. Was he really grabbing his ankle thinking he had the ball? And then you could see him turn it, but you also can kind of see Burns try to get away. So maybe Burns turned it himself. I don't know. It's really, really close. I do know that Mac Jones is very well liked in that locker room as someone who is a tough dude and kind of a badass and a trash talker and very competitive. And this probably did nothing to diminish that. Like, I think his teammates were probably like, all right, quarterback, like, we see you a little bit.
Really quick, we're up against it here, Ian, but Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he had so much heat around him. Then he does the mea culpa on the second Pat McAfee interview.
Sort of mea culpa.
Sort of mea culpa. I mean, there's a lot we could say about Aaron Rodgers.
Losing sponsors.
But is he going to play this weekend? He's eligible to come off the COVID list on Saturday.
Just real quick, the eligibility for him to come off the COVID list is really simple. It doesn't involve a negative test because he's been 10 days. So he should be asymptomatic and not transmittable or whatever you'd say after 10 days. So he needs to be cleared by a doctor and needs to have no symptoms. So he says he has no symptoms. I imagine he'll be cleared. We should see Aaron Rodgers without any practice, but on Sunday.
Ian, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Enjoy the games this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, you two guys, take care.
Thanks,
You got it.
Ian.
That's Ian Rapoport, NFL Network. We'll come back. We'll continue the conversation about Mike White, Zach Wilson, the Jets.